My friends, if you've been looking for undergraduate scholarships, then you are the right place. Yes, you've just arrived at the right place because today we have an interesting scholarship to talk about from the University of Sydney, Australia. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Brendo. I am a doctoral student here at the University of Strathclyde, and I received full funding for my program. And that helped me to see that you don't always have to be the best. You just have to be intentional, you have to be deliberate, especially in your application process. So today we want to talk about undergraduate scholarship, and there are a number of them, and I'm sure you would find one that is specific to you, one that you made your criteria, and one that I think definitely you should apply to. So let's talk about it. So the University of Sydney, there are several faculties, and you can look at the different faculties, or you can view all courses, but I don't want to go into that now. Let's just look at the undergraduate scholarships. So these are undergraduate scholarships for international students. That's our focus. We have a number of scholarships, and you would notice that there are different values for this scholarship. One of them that I love so much is the Australian Award Scholarships. However, for 2026, the deadline has passed. The deadline was in February 2025. So we would not talk about this one, but there are others we'll talk about. So you want to read up on some of them. For example, here we have the Sydney International Undergraduate Academic Excellence Scholarship. That's a mouthful. We'll talk about this one briefly. Now, we also have country-specific scholarship. For example, the Sydney Scholars India Scholarship Program. You can look at this one if you're an Indian citizen and resident. Now, this scholarship covers is up to 40,000 Australian dollars. Now let's look at the ones from other scholarships that we think we can apply to. So we'll start with this one, the Sydney International Undergraduate Academic Excellence Scholarship. It's an undergraduate scholarship and it is to support exceptional international students from diverse priority markets and for different undergraduate courses. So we'll look at that. What does it cover? The value is 100% tuition fees and it's for international students. For you to get this, you must have applied for a program, but you've not commenced. It's still ongoing. So to apply, you have to click here and I'll tell you, but we'll come back to this. Applying for scholarship can sometimes be time consuming and frustrating. I can tell you that because I've been there before, but it doesn't always have to be this way if you have someone guide you through the application process. And that is why I'm here. I secured two full funding for my program and I had to select the best. So I know what it is like to search for scholarships. And I've been guiding a number of students to secure full funding for their programs as well. Take, for example, Bless. Bless wants to apply for a Masters by Research program. And when I reviewed her work in a one-to-one session with her, I gave her tips on how to improve her chances to secure this scholarship. In another meeting I had with Emmanuel, I helped him to also search for tailored scholarship, tailored to him particularly, and offered guidance on how to submit this application. Now, both of them are working on the feedback to submit strong applications. So if you're interested in the one-to-one session, my calendar is open. You can book a one-to-one section, and then I can guide you in submitting strong applications. So the application for 2026 are open, especially for the first set. It says only successful applicants will be contacted. Now, what are the benefits? We've talked about the benefits earlier. Now, something to keep in mind is not all scholarship requires you to submit an application. For some, you'll be automatically considered, but for this one that covers 100% tuition fees, you would have to apply. And if you click on apply, I'll show you something why it's important. So if you click on apply, one of the things here is I'm commencing. Of course, this is what you say you take each box. But one thing is I'm commencing international. I am a commencing international student having a valid unconditional offer of admission, which means you should have offer of admission before you apply to this scholarship. Which also means if you're watching this video now, submit the application ASAP. I'll teach you how to do that, but submit the application ASAP so that when you get the unconditional offer, you can then apply for the scholarship. Please do not sleep on this. I think the deadline for this is August 20th for the first set, and the other one should be December, but we're going to come back to that anyways. Who is eligible? You must have applied but not yet commenced your program. You are actually planning to study a full-time program. and it's not your second degree, you're an international student, so you can read up more on this. You can read up more on this. So this one is for the undergraduate scholarship. This is just one of them. I also find it interesting to read the terms and condition. You never know. I've looked at it, but I would also advise you to look at it, particularly selection criteria number three, or that is point three. It said the scholarship is awarded on the basis of academic merit. Academic merit, very important. It also based on the completion of an online application form. So you must have a complete form and diversity of nationality. So who knows, depending on where you're watching this video from and depending on when you apply, you might be the only one from your country. And that would be interesting. And you could just be the only one selected from your country. So do not sleep on this, okay? And then diversity of intended degree, which also means the degree you've chosen might not be popular, but because of your chosen degree, you might also be awarded the scholarship. So remember this, and that's why I say there's some beauty. There's some beauty to looking at the scholarship terms and condition. Okay, now that's just the only thing I want to bring to your attention. You can read up on the terms and condition yourself. So once again, that is the Sydney International Undergraduate Excellence Scholarship. I'm going to leave a link in the description on how to find that. Okay, the next one we want to talk about is the Rhodes Scholarship. And you can read up here, you can read up on what the scholarship is about and what it covers. Particularly, it covers your full tuition and you also receive stipend per annum, per month. It's you can reimbursed per month, £1,650 per month, which covers your living allowance, your accommodation, and other things. Okay. So the third one we have is the Vice Chancellor International Scholarship Scheme. It is for exceptional international student and it is still for undergraduate program. Okay. So it says up to 40,000 scholarship. Okay. And if you're an international student, and what you've selected is a program for the CRICOS registered coursework degree. Okay. And you've received an unconditional offer. For this one, you do not need an application. You do not need an application. Now, if you're wondering how I got the Vice Chancellor's International Scholarship Scheme, so if you come to general, this page, the general scholarship for undergraduate, I think the Vice Chancellor's is the last one. Yeah, the Vice Chancellor's International Scholarship Scheme. So now let's go back to it. So you've also received an unconditional offer, which means please submit your application as soon as possible. It covers up to 40,000 per annum, but that's the max. Just so you know, that's the max, that's the max. Something I think I should also bring to your attention, it says applied for a CRICOS registered coursework degree. What does CRICOS stand for? Uh, I have that open here. So CRICOS stands for Commonwealth Register of Institution and Courses for Overseas Students. So if you search your program here or you search the institution here, and then, for example, you look at the programs, I'm going to show you the list of programs again from the University of Sydney for undergraduate study. You'd likely still find that here on CRICOS. So if you find it here, then you can just go ahead and apply. Just something to have in mind, okay? So we come back here. Now, how to apply? No application is required, as all eligible students who have secured an unconditional offer of admission will be automatically considered. So this is another good scholarship. You don't need any application. Just submit the application for your preferred program, and then you could be given the scholarship, okay? Or you could receive the scholarship. The closing date for the round one is 20th of August, and round two is the 7th of October, and then round three is 17th of November. Please do not delay. Do not delay. Just start submitting your application. The earlier, the better. But before you submit an application, please review the application thoroughly. My calendar is up there if you want a one-to-one session so that I can review your documents before you submit. I'm happy to do that. Just book a one-to-one session and I will guide you in that process. Semester 2 closing date, 16th of February, 23rd of March, and 4th of May. All right, just so you know. And the benefits, now, this is where I want you to pay attention to. It's 40,000 payable for 1 year in 2 equal installments. Then there's 20,000 payable for 1 semester, and then the others. The availability of some amount may be limited to specific cohorts. You must be an international student and look at the other requirements. You could also look at the terms and condition. Okay. All right. Another scholarship again is I think we've talked about this one already, so there's no need for this. So you guys, those are the two scholarship. Now, what else do you want to keep in mind? Well, the application and semester date you want to check, but usually for undergraduate program, 1st of December of the year prior to commencement. If you're planning to start in February the next year, the deadline is this. However, if you're applying for scholarship, you have to apply earlier. We've seen the scholarship deadline for example, the last one we considered, the scholarship deadline is August, September, and November, which means you don't want to stick to this if you're looking for scholarship. All right, just something you know. But if you're not looking for scholarship, then you can go ahead and wait that long. That's for undergraduate program for international students. What else? For English language requirement, I think this is also helpful. If you're from select countries, you do not need to provide proof of English. For example, if you're from Nigeria, oh no, what did I do? If you're from Nigeria, if you're from Ghana, if you're from Singapore, if your country is not on this list, you might want to send an email to the school to prove that, look, I think I meet the requirements for this. Okay. And if you want to apply, simply go to the university homepage, apply, look for undergraduate application, and then look for a course search. So you search for your particular degree, whichever one you're interested in. And when you search for it, I should have opened this earlier. So you search for the one depending on your faculty or depending on your discipline, and then you just go ahead, look at the requirements, and then submit your application. That's just it. Submit your application. So there you have it, guys. There you have the undergraduate scholarship, and I wish you all the best in your scholarship pursuit.